What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to PT Files. And on this episode 17, I got a special guest, sports manager, JQ. Welcome to PT Files.
What's up? Thank you so much for having me.
No problem, no problem. So tell us how you got into, sports management, a little bit of your background, all of that.
Yeah, so what I don't stress enough, and I think I need to do a better job of, is telling people I used to play ball in college. So that's where it came from. Played my freshman year at Maryland Eastern Shore in the MEAC conference, and then I transferred to a D2 school in Texas. That's where we got our connection
Yeah,
from.
for
And
sure.
then my last 2 years, I played at a Division II school in North Carolina. Now, my senior year in college, we had a losing record, and I had the opportunity to go overseas, but I chose not to. So my parents, they said, well, you're going to have to get you a job. And, as athletes, while we're in school, we only think about two things, ball and school, right?
Yep.
So I said, well, let me pursue my education. And I went to grad school to Liberty. And when I was there at Liberty, I coached at a high school girls basketball team. I was part of a semi-pro men's basketball league on the media side. So I was still involved in sports. And I also interned for the Liberty football team as a marketing assistant. So I did all of that while pursuing my degree. And when I graduated, I knew I was not staying in Lynchburg because it is nothing in Lynchburg. So I moved back to Raleigh, and then that's when I started, going and traveling to all the elite high school boy basketball tournaments like the McDonald's All-American, the Under Armour, Nike EYBL, and I was doing highlights and interviewing athletes. So I did that for maybe about 2 years. That was 2015, 2016. And during that time, I had the opportunity to interview a lot of great athletes that are now in the league. The Bam Adebayo, the Jason Tatum, De'Aaron Fox, and the list goes on. But I kept running into the same kids, right? Same families. And it was cool. I appreciate the relationships that came from that. But it was so much that was going on behind the scenes. And I said, you know what? I feel like I can do more than just interview these athletes. That's when I transitioned from being in front of the camera doing interviews to being behind the camera now as a PR manager. So that's how JQ Sports PR formed. So what I do is I help athletes with their branding and their marketing, recruiting exposure, finding different ways, creative ways to get seen by college coaches.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. So can you tell us the importance of, branding athletes and how important it is to get themselves out there and, marketing themselves?
Yeah, so as we were talking out there, the landscape of youth sports has changed drastically over the last couple of years. And I tell parents that you want to start thinking ahead and being proactive with branding and marketing your son or your daughter. Because it's a gift and a curse that coaches are recruiting athletes off of just social media. It is what it is. Sometimes these coaches, they'll see a kid's highlight tape, and then when they finally go see them in person, they're like, that's not matching up. Damn, I made the wrong decision, right? So, I tell parents that it's so imperative that you have to be ahead of the game. And because the recruiting landscape has changed, putting yourself out there, putting your athlete out there is so important. How they present themselves on social media, what they're posting. Depending on what level your child wants to play at, some of these schools don't have the budget to travel and see every single kid. So they're relying on social media. So it's just so important because not only does it help with the recruiting process for your child, but it also helps them in building their brand for life after sports. Because let's face it, not everybody gets the opportunity to play at the next level, meaning professionally, right? So while they're in middle school and high school, start thinking about other things that they might be good at or might have an interest in. They might like to cook. They might be into fashion. So those things definitely helps when they're making that transition from college to the real world.
So can you tell us what are the important things that college coaches are looking for? Because sometimes student athletes in general may not understand that, like what exactly they're looking for. Because, somebody could say one thing or it could be this or they'll be like, they ain't really worried about that. So what specifically are these college coaches and recruiters are looking for when it comes to
So
athletes?
first and foremost, they want to know, is your child going to be a liability or an asset, right? That goes back to social media. You don't want to have your child, or if you're a student athlete, you don't want to be posting pictures of you at the gas station. I don't know what it is with these crazy hand signs. It bothers me, and it makes me cringe when I see student athletes, even at the collegiate level, they're posting pictures with their pants hanging and throwing up signs like, dude, are you serious? Do you really think a college coach is going to take interest in you? Now, granted, if you're a 4 or 5 star athlete, they might take that chance on you, but it's not that many 4 or 5 star athletes. Want to know if you're a liability or asset, how your parents are going to be involved. You have a lot of parents that want to be in control of everything from playing time. And the coaches, they recruit these parents as well. It's not just the student athletes. When you go to games, you can't be yelling and cursing at the refs or the coach or other players and other parents in the stands, because coaches are paying attention. Once they see that they're interested in your child, the next person they're going to start breaking down and dissecting is you as the parent. So that's another thing that a lot of parents and athletes don't understand. And then also, are you going to help them win? Right? At the end of the day, it's a business. A lot of people get caught up in their feelings. They get upset. Now, I get it. You have your mindset going to a powerhouse 5 school, and they say that they're not interested. It's okay to feel down and, disappointed or whatnot, but don't dwell on it. Don't take it personal and get on Twitter or X and start having X fingers, right? But, just realizing that at the end of the day, people got to feed their families. So if a coach is going to recruit you, they're wanting to make sure that they're recruiting you to help them win and help them keep a job. If you can't do that, then guess what? They moving on to the next athlete. So I think those are just a few of the many things that parents and athletes are not understanding, because it's so much that's going on right now. But knowing if you're a liability or an asset, the coaches are paying attention to the parents. And then also, just making sure that you understand that this coach has to keep a job. So if you're not good enough to play on their squad, sorry, buddy, they're moving on. And that's just those are just the hard facts. Like I said, at the end of the day, people got bills to pay. They got mouths to feed. You have to, what they say, you can't mix business with pleasure. Right? So just understanding those things, I think, will help parents and athletes.
Okay, cool. Most definitely. And as you talk about the business side, I think also that's not taught enough also in that transition. Like once you go to college or real world or professional, it is a business. Like they think you can go in and lollygag. They're going to keep me here. They're going to keep me. They ain't going to cut me. I'm going to stay here all 4 years like high school, whatever.
No, it doesn't work like that. I date a basketball. I date a former basketball player, and he was very well known on campus. He played 1 year with the Utah Jazz, and he's even we've discussed things like this for a long time about that transition from being the big man on campus to now stepping out into the real world, and no one knows you.
Yeah,
and a lot of kids fall into, not a lot. The ones that do come forward and share this experience, but a lot of these kids fall into depression because they're using their sport as their identity. And then as soon as they step into an environment where no one knows who they are, then it's like, well, who am I? I'm just a number now. Yeah. And that goes back to my point about these athletes building a personal brand. See, a lot of people, when the NIL was passed back in 2021, the media, I'm trying to use the correct word, the political term, there was a lot of misunderstanding. Well, not a lot of misunderstanding, because it is what it is. NIL, yes, it is to pay these athletes for their name, image, and likeness. But what I tell a lot of people, if you go back on my social media back from 2012, I was speaking about building a brand. And when you're building a brand from your early years, all that's going to do is help you prepare for the future. So if you're doing that at an early age, middle school, high school, college, then when it's time to make that transition from being a collegiate player to now an employee of a company, it's not as difficult, because you're still falling into a passion of yours. It's not just working at McDonald's or Enterprise, right? It's a career that you see yourself excelling and prospering in. So that's why I feel like it's very important for these kids to understand that it's a long game, right?
Yeah.
You can't just think or believe that when you build a personal brand, 2 months later you're going to start getting paid. It's more than that. And unfortunately, not everybody gets the glam, from, having millions and thousands and millions of followers on Instagram. But it's also to help you prepare for that transition for life after sports.
Okay, cool. Can you go in details about what exactly a NIL is? And can you?
So I'm a very simple person, and I when I communicate with people, I like to break it down in simplest forms, right? So NIL is basically an athlete being able to get paid from their name, image, and likeness. So let's just say, for example, let's say you were a freshman at Texas A&M, right? And you had, let's just say, 10K followers on Instagram. And you're a great athlete. You may not be the starting five on the team, but you have a great social media following. And let's just say, let me ask you, what are some of your passions that you have?
Eating.
Okay, you like okay, so along with eating, do you like to cook?
Yeah, cooking. Yeah, I cook a little bit. Yeah,
okay.
Say cooking.
Okay, so cooking. So let's just say you got 10K followers on Instagram. You're a great athlete, but you also have created content on social media showing your followers and your fans that you like to cook. You cook different dishes. Those things that you're posting on social media could potentially give you opportunities to get paid. So let's just say I'm the owner of a new baking company, right? And I need help getting that exposure to the masses or to the public. So let's say I'm scrolling on Instagram and I fall upon your page. Oh, okay, she has 10K followers. Her content is crisp, great quality. I think she'll be a great ambassador for our company. Now I'm going to reach out to you and ask you, hey, would you like to be an ambassador for our company? We'll pay you X amount of money to post our product on your social media page. Or let's just say I have a storefront in Atlanta and we're doing a grand opening. I might want you to, come out to be at the grand opening, hosting red carpet interviews.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so many different ways of athletes getting paid, but that's basically what it is an athlete, because of their name, image, or likeness, they're able to get paid off, a trade-off from a company or a brand.
So, question, when you're working with different athletes and, working with NIL and stuff like that, how difficult or how easy is it, to manage them when it comes to things like that?
How long we got? Okay, so I'm gonna be very honest. It depends on the athlete. It's hard to get young men, mostly men. Sorry, y'all, but it's hard to get them to put themselves out there because they want to look cool, right? Everything that they do, they want to look cool. If it looks corny, if it sounds corny, they don't want to do it. So when it comes to working with athletes and helping them find those NIL opportunities, for me, what I like to do is I like to educate them on, look, this is going to be the process. This is what the expectations or the qualifications that you have to meet in order for you to get paid from a company or a brand. It's hard because I think for the normal or the day-to-day person, we don't like to put ourselves out there. on social media. We might not be confident in front of the camera. We might not like how the way we sound or how our body looks, whatever the case may be. So getting them to understand that it's more than that. You got to think outside the box, because not everybody cares that you have a lisp. Okay, not everybody cares, right? Because at the end of the day, they're gonna be the ones laughing. You're making thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Like, who's laughing now, right? So I would say that's the most difficult part when I'm helping athletes with their NIL, is getting them to understand you have to put yourself out there. Now, of course, you don't have to go on social media and tell everybody all your business, all your personal life. Like, I'm not saying that, but you're going to have to be willing to put yourself out there so people can see your personality. Because I know mainly for football players, because they wear a helmet, people don't know who they are or what they look like.
Right.
So I do feel like with football players, they're more willing to put themselves out there and show their personality, more as basketball players, they're more prima donna. I hate to say it, but it's true. Am I lying?
Hey, nah, you right. Yeah, I ain't
Am
gonna
I
lie.
lying? Not every
not
basketball.
all of them, but
not
yeah.
all of them, but the majority of them,
Yeah.
yes. Football athletes, I just feel like they're just, I don't want to say free spirit, but they're just, what do I need to do? Like,
Yeah.
whatever you
More
need to,
willing.
More
Yeah.
willing, yes. That's the hardest part, is getting them to understand and get overcome that objection. The next most difficult part, I would say, is getting them to consistently post. Like right now, I have a client, Cam Jackson. He's a senior at the University of Florida. So with him being in Florida, I'm here in Atlanta. We have to schedule dates when we go out there to do content day. And some athletes, they may not have the resources. They may not have the personnel to help them with content day.
Yeah.
So that's where I would step in, along with bringing my videographer or my photographer to help them with that. So I understand that they're busy, especially when you're playing, competing at a program like University of Florida.
Yeah.
You're busy. You got school. You still have a personal life, and then you have football. So just trying to find, the time that works best for them, so we can shoot that content, or for them to shoot the content and send it to me so I can post it. I would say that would be the most difficult part. The cool thing, or the great thing about what I do, is when it comes to NIL, as a brand manager, as a PR manager, I don't negotiate contracts. So this is basically the process. So I'm working with an athlete. We talk about their brand identity, what they want to be known for, what they want to be looked at to the public. And then that's when I start reaching out to different brands and companies that align with this athlete's brand. Once we pitch to them and they confirm, yes, we want to work with your athlete, then I talk to the client and say, hey, this company wants to work with you. Look into it. What do you think? If they have an agent, they'll get their agent involved. If they don't, they'll probably just look over it themselves along with their parents. They tell me, JQ, we want to move forward. I relay that message to the company. When they type up that contract, I am out of the picture.
Yeah.
Because I am not a certified agent. I had to create a post at the beginning of 2024 because I got very annoyed when I would have parents ask me, are you an agent? I know the responsibilities and the things that a PR manager and an agent does kind of crisscross and, sounds the same, but it's really not. So I had to create a post because I had people mistaking me as an agent. So anytime that a contract is involved, that is passed along to the client and their agent. Once they review the contract, if there's any revisions that need to be made, that is between the client, the agent, and the company. I don't come back into play until once that contract has been signed, and now it's time for us to deliver. What are those deliverables? Creating content for social media, arranging a podcast interview, or showing up to an event for them to have that person there for the grand opening.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that all sound good. Sound about right. Okay, breaking it down better for the people.
Because I thought about taking the agent route.
It sounds like you could do it though. It sounds
It's a great. It's a doggy dog world. I think in any industry, you're going to have those type of situations that arise. But being an agent is cutthroat. I don't want no problems. I don't want to be a part of that. I want to be with the client if they get invited to an event and they have to do red carpet interviews. I want to be present to make sure that they are presenting themselves in a positive light. If they're doing a podcast, I'm back in the back making sure that whoever is interviewing them, they're asking the right questions. If they get invited to do a commercial campaign for Gatorade or Nike, I'm going to be there. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be an agent and negotiate contract. Y'all can have that. I'm good where I am. I'm staying in my lane.
Cool. So, has there ever been a time where you had to like maybe drop clients because of certain reason, or it was just too difficult, or maybe parents making it hard and it's like, okay, it's not going to work, or like they not understanding, we got to move in two different directions?
Yes. And it wasn't difficult because I'm really big on conducting my business in a way where I keep my morals and values intact. And what I mean by that is, example, I had a parent that reached out to me and said, hey, we found you on social media. Our son is a upcoming junior at the high school. He's going to be a starting player on the squad next year. And when I had the conversation with the parent, I specifically asked, is your son ready to put in the work? And she said, yes. Okay. I had a conversation with the student athlete. He said the same thing. Yeah, JQ, I'm ready to work. Let's do it. I would say a month into I don't like to say contract. I have service agreements. 1 month into my agreement, the mom calls me. She says, JQ, I feel like I'm pulling teeth. Every time it's time for us to shoot content, he's fighting me on it. He doesn't want to do it. He's asking, why do I have to do this? There are certain things that he doesn't think that are cool to put on social media. Now, she was paying me some good money, but like I said, at the end of the day, I don't want to just take people's money. If I feel that you have to force your child to build a personal brand, and it's not for money, it's to help them prepare so they can reach their greatest potential on and off the playing field, then maybe we need to just separate, pull away. You guys talk about it in the future. If you want to, try it again, we can do that. But other than that, I haven't had any other difficult clients. I'm very picky. When I say I am picky to the T, my DMs are flooded with more so with parents and athletes, which is good. That would ask me, hey, we're looking for someone like you to work with our athlete. Can we have a call? And there are specific questions that I ask during the call. That helps me determine if it's going to be a good fit for me or not. Because I have a 9-to-5. I know what I do. It looks like, I do it full time, but no, I do a lot. I have a 9-to-5 and I also have my business. So I got to make sure that my time is not being wasted. Like, I just don't want to work with you and your child because you're going to pay me X amount of money each month. Now that helps, but no. Because at the end of the day, I want to grow with the athlete. If I feel like we got to force them to do it or they're not happy doing it, then what are we doing? Because I don't like that type of energy, So I'm very picky with my clients, which is probably why I haven't had too many issues.
That's good, though. That's the
clients.
way to be, for sure. How are you able to spread, like, awareness about, building your brand and, building your personal brand up as an athlete? Like, how are you able to put that out there more? Because it's the sports world, male and female, is growing rapidly. So how are we able, especially like high school athletes and stuff, how are you able to get them to understand, okay, like, this is what we need to do. Like, you got to do this. If you want to do this, this is how you need to do it.
It's really just about educating them. When we enter an agreement, we don't start off from the bat, just creating content. I like to have education sessions where I will pull different pages off of social media, basically listing out the do's and the do's and don'ts. And then from that, if we not replicate, but if we use this page as an inspiration, then this is what can come from it. If you go the other route and you do what this person is doing, which is a lot of don'ts, this is what can happen. It's really because they're so young, and honestly, these parents are new to the, personal branding and things like that. Education is key. They have to understand, because I'm not with the athlete 24/7 like they are. So they have to be able to relay that message as if they're JQ. Now, of course, I'm not saying that they have to be an expert of personal branding, but at the same time, they have to understand the process, because if not, then it's going to be difficult for them to understand. And it's not hard. Like, I think people overthink things, and I get it. When things are new to us, we kind of shy away from it, or we don't like to educate ourselves on it, because you're hearing so much from other people that don't have a clue what they're talking about. So if you really educate yourself about building a personal brand for your student athlete or you as an athlete, it has a lot of benefits to it. But it's just important that you educate yourself.
Cool. Okay. So with you, being a former athlete and former hooper, I know you pretty much, you keep up with the sports and stuff like that. Looking at today's games and today's athletes, stuff like that, what do you see that's very different, or do you feel like that needs to change, with sports and stuff like high school, college, whatever?
So let's start with high school. We talked about this too outside before the show. Times are changing. And sometimes when people get to a certain age, let's just be honest, they get stuck in their ways. We've seen that Coach Saban from Alabama leave college football because of NIL. Now, I'm not here to say that his reasoning of leaving was right or wrong. But when you have coaches that are stuck in their ways of how things should be done from how they were done 10, 15, 20 years ago, that's a problem. And again, that goes back to educating yourself. I get it. With youth sports, you have parents and athletes that are competing for the limelight. So when you have cameras, when you have media, when you have these scouts, these media journalists that are wanting to write about your kid, it can become a distraction. But I think it's important to lay that foundation where balance needs to come in and stay in the forefront of your program. Meaning, let's have a videographer attend our high school games. Because at the end of the day, the reason why they're there is to help your athletes and your players get exposure. See, I think sometimes when traditional coaches believe that cameras are there, every single athlete is going to start showboating. Now, granted, that could be true. But at the same time, you have to get them to understand we're doing this for a reason. We're allowing this for a reason. And then, too, you have a lot of coaches and trainers that are holding these kids as property. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It blows my mind when I hear trainers get upset because an athlete, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grader went to go and work out with another trainer. Like, that's my kid. Who? Like, I'm looking at the trainer as a mother, like, my son or my daughter didn't come out of your this is my child. This is my no. So that with the high school, I'm trying to see what else. You got parents, you got trainers, you got traditional coaches stuck in their old ways.
Yeah, the parents are crazy, way 10 times worse.
But why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's man.
I think it's so many reasons why parents have come to where they are today when it comes to youth sports.
Man, even the little league, like my brother played
know.
basketball. He 9, 10. Like, bro, like,
and see,
y'all about to fight in the stands.
About to fight in the stands. And see, this is what I don't get. I'm gonna say it. I hold these parents accountable because what you do at these games, your child is paying attention. So if you're fighting with a ref or you're fighting with another parent, you're telling your kid it's okay to do the same thing. How many videos on Instagram or X have you seen where a fight has broken out between a parent and another parent or a parent and a ref, and then you see the players coming in, they trying to get their lick in?
Well, too many.
What?
Too many.
What has this world come to? Where you got the players, these kids running to the floor to fight an adult. Like that blows my mind. Damn, what was the question again? Because the youth sport, like I think that's where it starts. What youth down to because
we gotta stay. A fight break out, you gotta stay on the bench. Or if you get off that bench and now we got a tech and we going back to school, we running. Like that's punishment. Like, well, my coach, you gotta stay on that bench.
But then you have parents. Why is my child running? So quick story, very quick story. And I want you to tell me if I was wrong for this, because I have a lot of people that tell me, JQ, you was wrong for that. Okay, so remember I told you I coach at a high school in Virginia, right? Yeah. Girls JV basketball team. Some of our girls had problems in the classrooms where they were either skipping class, talking back to the teacher. So all that had built up, right? We had lost this game and it was just attitudes off the yin yang. Like I had a player talking back to me. So when everybody left out the gym, guess what I had the players do? Run. Do you think I was wrong for that?
What was wrong about that?
They said I was too hard.
Oh my God.
Honestly, let's keep it a buck. I'm okay. I don't think I have publicly made this statement about my time. I'm not gonna say the name of the high school, but it was in Lynchburg, Virginia. Damn. I got fired.
Because you made them run?
No. Well, that was one of the reasons why. They felt that I was too hard on the girls, meaning that these are the exact words out of the AD's mouth when he called me to his office. You're coaching these girls like they're in the WNBA. Isn't that the goal? Now, not every player on the squad wants to play professionally, but isn't that the goal?
Yeah.
To help them get better and coach them to get better so they can play at the collegiate level and hopefully in the WNBA. You're firing me because you feel like I'm too hard on the girls.
That's insane.
And the sad part about it is the parents disagreed. I had a few parents that went to go talk to the AD, but at that point, it was just too late. I had already made up my mind, like, if they want to let me go, so be it. I'm not the good, the right fit for this program. And mind you, the year before I got there, guess how many games they won? We won 11 games my first year. And they felt that I was being too hard on the girls.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They said you were wrong?
So they said I was wrong for that. I should have made them run right after the game. Yeah.
I ran after the game plenty of times.
Yeah, I don't understand why they said that I was wrong, but
I remember we had a game in high school. We was down. We was already down. It was about like 5 seconds on the clock. We was walking off the court. Like the game was over. So you know how it be when it's over. It's kind of like you walking towards the bench. Right. Our coach was like, the game ain't over. We looking at the score like yes, what you mean? Right. Like, the game over. But we went back to that gym and ran for real. Yeah. Because we don't stop playing till the clock run out.
Exactly.
So.
But yeah, I had a few people that say that I was wrong for that, but that was probably one of the reasons why they let me go after my first year at the high school. But it's okay because I was graduating anyway. So and coaching, I don't think coaching is my thing.
Hey, that's another question too. Right here with coaching, everybody a coach.
Everybody's a coach. Everybody's a trainer. Everybody. I don't have it in me. I couldn't be after that, I said to myself, I would never seek another coaching position ever again. If that opportunity was to present itself, I think I would have to coach boys.
Really?
Not girls.
I think
I'd rather deal with egos than not saying that men can't get attitudes, right? But I can't deal with the drama, the playfulness. I love my girls, but yeah, if an opportunity presented itself, I would do. Of course, I'm not saying I can coach a high school boys basketball team. Like I don't have no previous coaching experience like JJ Reddick, but we're not gonna go down that road. But why did I just say that? I shouldn't have said that. That's wrong. Can we cut that? No? Okay. If an opportunity was to present itself, I could see myself coaching a little league boys basketball team. But girls, they will probably have. I don't know.
I say I'd rather coach girls than boys.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's something to me. Well, I don't know. Maybe I feel like, and this falls into another question I asked you too about NIL. Do you feel like NIL has made players more lazy because they are getting money?
Ooh, no, I don't think so.
Really?
I don't. Now, when you say it made the athletes lazy,
I wouldn't say lazy, but I don't want to say less passionate either. It's something that I have seen with, and maybe it's just college with the women and men's.
Okay.
I watch more, and this is statistics too, like college basketball. The women's college is more entertaining now versus the boys. When I watch the boys, I just can't watch college basketball men versus the girls. I feel like it's more passion there, like NIL money or not, like it's just something about it that it's just like we gonna get to it regardless.
Right.
Versus the boys, it's like, okay, hey, I'm here, whatever, shoot a 3, dunk. I'm going to the league.
Yeah.
I don't have to. I'm already making money.
Right.
Like,
I don't know. That's a great observation, but I will say to your point with women's basketball, college women's basketball, I think NIL has helped bring more exposure to women's college basketball. Let's talk the WNBA for a minute. This is a touchy subject, but I ain't gonna lie to you. When I watch Caitlin Clark play, she is a phenomenal shooter.
Yeah.
Okay? She's a phenomenal shooter. But you don't know how many times I have sat in my living room and watched her play and say she wouldn't have gotten those points if I was playing D on her. This is a plug. Okay. I don't have any problems telling people that I got my D1 scholarship solely off my defense. You know, when coaches will say something about their players and they post it on the school's website, like if you go to UMES website right now and go back, what year was that? I ain't gonna tell y'all. But if you go back on the website, you will see that my coach says we recruited Jaquise Smith because of her passion to play defense. So going back to Caitlin Clark.
Okay, defense game here.
Yeah. I was I call myself the glove. The glove, yeah. But going back to Caitlin Clark, she's a phenomenal player, phenomenal shooter. But regardless if people want to admit it or not, she has helped the WNBA. Now, before Caitlin Clark, you had some talented women that played in the league.
Yeah, definitely.
And that plays in the league currently. But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, it's all about the dollar.
Yeah.
Without Caitlin Clark, you're not selling out. I mean, maybe the Las Vegas Aces, because I love their talent, I love their program, but the league as a whole, if there's no Caitlin Clark, no one's talking about any of the WNBA games.
Hey man, say man.
I mean, I don't agree with it, but it is what it. I'm a realist. It is what it is. Like it. I would feel some type of way if I'm a WNBA player and all I hear is Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark. I will feel some type of way,
Yeah.
but first we complain that the league is not getting any attention.
Yeah.
And then once it starts getting attention, then we want to start complaining.
Now this goes back to like because of the exposure and stuff like that, the marketing, the brand deals, that all plays a part into it, like why it has gotten to where it is now.
And I remember saying this, I don't remember which platform I was on, but one of my concerns or issues that I had, not so much now, with WNBA players is that they were in creating opportunities for themselves. And what I mean by that is putting themselves out there for brand endorsements. Like you will have like the big names that are getting endorsement deals with Nike, Gatorade, these different companies. But if you're not a star athlete on your team, then you have to find other opportunities to earn money. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I don't know how many times y'all might have to put down. How many times has JQ mentioned it's a business at the end of the day? Like tally that every time I say it, but it is like most of these girls, and I hate to say it, that are playing the lead, the ones that are feeling some type of way, they don't have nothing else going on outside of basketball. And you have to take. You have to take the time that you're playing right now and use that as leverage because your time is ticking. How many years what's the average amount of years that WNBA players stay in the league? Until they I know Sue Bird is like 40? 40 I want to say she's like, or is it Diana Taurasi? One of them was like in their 40s. Like in their 40s, I think.
Taurasi.
But yeah, like you have to create opportunities so that way you're not just relying on your basketball career.
Okay, so now another question, because they are expanding the WNBA league. Do you think the veterans need to step out for the newcomers to come in? No,
I think it's important to have a veteran or two on your team to help guide the newcomers. Being that, I don't want to say a role model, but just, someone part of the team that can help them navigate through this transition coming into the league. No, I don't think the veterans. I mean, at the end of the day, if you can barely run up the court, then yeah, maybe it's your time to leave. Yeah. But other than that, I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, cool. Okay, if you were the brand manager for WNBA, how would you go about promoting and exposing, getting the WNBA brand out there more? How would you go about doing that? Before Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, what would you have done differently to make them bigger than what they are now?
It's kind of hard to answer that question because I'm not sure if my ideas were actually executed and it didn't work. And what I mean by that is I'm not sure if they really tried their hardest to get TV deals. Or, collaborating and partnering with these 500, corporations, to get the league's name out there and promotion, things like that. Because, I mean, I'm just using the Atlanta Dream, for example. I think they do a fantastic job of getting the community involved with their different outreach community events, to getting the the young girls and even men to their games. So it's kind of hard to answer that. Come back to me, ask me the next question. I think I'm gonna have something for you because I think there are multiple ways, because I don't want to say, like I said again, Caitlin Clark, I mean, I don't want to say she's the face of the brand or the face of the league. I think that's reaching. That's a far reach for right now. But I don't know, having people with that much influence and power, that's why it's happening now. I don't want to get too political and you know
Okay,
dive deep into that.
We can't forget about Angel Reese too. Her changes to the game for sure.
Do you feel like she has welcomed or accepted being the villain?
Angel Reese?
Yeah, because I
think she has. Honestly, like before, and this is me being, going back to college.
Yeah.
The past 2 years, it was Angel Reese.
Yeah.
Then it was Caitlin Clark because of Angel Reese.
Yeah.
Their whole dynamic.
Right.
But it was just them being competitive.
Yeah.
And, them showing their personalities, just them being them. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like she has accepted it fine. Like, I feel like she's handling it pretty well. Like,
you know what's annoying for me? When I watch these different media platforms and they start talking about or showing the fights, the elbows, I'm like, this has been happening. Like, what are you men? Because it's mostly men that are making these comments.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to prance around the basketball court and not get physical? Like, that shit is. Can I curse? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you good. Yeah.
That shit is annoying as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like every time I turn on ESPN, when they start talking about the WNBA, they want to talk about a fight that broke out or somebody that made a cheap, play. I'm like, can we talk about how many points somebody had or a great play? Why are we highlighting that? Like, this is, like you said earlier, women play with passion as much as men do.
Yeah.
But because you guys are new to the space, the WNBA, this is new to you. Like, that shit, it irks my freaking nerves when I hear that. That's all they want to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was maybe not the last game between the Fever and the Sky, where Angel was going for the ball but hit Caitlin Clark in the head.
Oh yeah, come on now, come on, y'all.
Come on, y'all.
That was a clear basketball play. That was clear as day.
Y'all just want to.
That was clear as day.
Just creating drama. Like, yeah, I just had to say that because
I say one that probably irritated me the most. This is when the college game when LSU lost to and who did they play? Who did they lose to? South Carolina, wasn't it? Yeah.
This past year, yeah.
South Carolina. And Angel Reese got emotional. And she was crying. And then, like, the media, ESPN, whatever, was saying, how you gonna get up there and cry, and you know how many people cry after they like, this is championship game. This Final Four. What you mean? Like, come on. Like, that's... So y'all telling me y'all ain't never cried after a game? Because I know state games, Final Four, I just sat there and cried. Like, what? Like, that's insane to me. Like, that's just passion.
It's just passion.
Villain role or not, I just lost like a big game of last game of my college career.
We're not supposed to cry. You didn't know that?
Hey, man.
As athletes, we're not supposed to cry. We're not supposed to, and when I say us, I mean us women.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to cry. We're not supposed to play with passion. We're not supposed to compete. That's not part of our game. No, it's not. Like, and the reason why I asked you about the villain question with Angel Reese, I don't even think she's a villain.
Yeah,
she's just a passionate athlete, and she's playing the game that she loves. Like, I just, some of these narratives that are being created by the freaking media is just outrageous. And again, I'm happy that the league is getting attention. I think it's just they're focusing on the wrong things for the league. And if you guys feel like that's the only way to talk about the WNBA, you should be ashamed of yourself, because there's other great things that happen in the game.
We got she averaging the double-doubles going crazy. Amen. That's man.
Yeah, it's, and maybe it's just for right now. Hopefully it gets better.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gets better. But no, Angel Reese is doing her thing. Like I said, nothing against Caitlin Clark. She's a great shooter. A great shooter. I would debate with anyone about that. Like, she's a great shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, that people say the same thing about what's his name?
Stephen Curry?
Yes, thank you. He's a great shooter. He's not an Allen Iverson. He's not an Anthony Edwards, right? So, but that's here or there.
Okay, cool. So go back to, we talking about the issues in the community with the high school players, college players as well, the trainers, the parents, that whole dynamic, and trainers being possessive over players, and parents acting crazy, cussing coaches out, and taking their kids out of certain programs because they feel like it's not this and that, and yeah.
Well, the transfer portal and taking kids from, one program to another in high school. It's not always the best decision. Remember when you asked me earlier, do I feel like that kids are getting lazy?
Yeah.
What I do feel that is happening a lot right now in our youth is that they don't know how to fight through adversity.
Yeah.
And I'm a living witness to that. So, as I mentioned earlier, my freshman year, I played at Maryland Eastern Shore. And then I transferred to a JUCO in Texas. The first part of the season, I was the backup point guard for the senior point guard. The second part of the season, she violated a team rule, and then I became the starting point guard. But I didn't feel that program was the right fit for me. So I felt like, and I'm not just saying this because it's me, but if I went into details about what was happening, then yes, I feel like my decision that I made to transfer was the best decision. But you hear a lot of situations and scenarios now where if an athlete is not getting I was getting playing time. Like people looking at me like, why are you leaving? You're the starting point guard on a D1 basketball program. Why are you leaving? But they just didn't know all the other stuff that was happening. But nowadays you hear a lot of kids that are moving or leaving a program because they're not getting any playing time. And I'm not saying that that's the only reason why kids are entering their name in the transfer portal. But from the stories that I've heard and situations that I've seen, it's because they're not getting their way. So, yeah. I mean, everyone's journey and path is different.
Yeah.
But I do think that is when parents have to step in, and high school coaches need to step in to remind them, hey, this is life. You're not going to get your way all of the time. You might have to go through some road bumps and some trials and tribulations, and it's going to make you stronger at the end of the day. But these kids ain't trying to hear all that. They are not trying to hear all that. They thinking about NIL money, and being the star athlete on their team.
How do we, and it's probably damn near impossible also, separate these parents from just trying to be involved in everything when it comes to playing the game? Because these parents now are coming up to the coaches, office, up on the bench, like in the middle of the game, like, bro, what are you doing?
Right after the game.
Yeah, like right after the game, stuff like that. Why you put my daughter in? What are you doing?
So I had this rule when I was coaching in Lynchburg. When I had my first parent meeting, I laid it out. I said, "Don't come to me and talk to me about your child playing time.
Yeah,
we're not doing that. If your daughter is putting in the work and practice, and she's staying out of trouble in school, she'll get playing time. Other than that, her ass gonna sit on that bench. I don't care if she gets mad. What I do want to say to your point is, I do feel that it's important for the parent or the legal guardian to be involved in the child's recruiting process. And what I mean by that is guiding them, not making the decisions for them, but just guiding them. As a parent, you have to know when you need to step back. Going back to your example about playing time, instead of going to the coach, first asking your kid, "What are you doing in practice?"
Yeah.
Well, you should already know what your student or your child grades are looking like, but are you getting in trouble in class? Like, what's going on? What's happening in practice before you want to jump down the coach's throat about why your child's not getting the playing time? you might want to have a conversation with your student athlete first before you have a conversation with the coach. But I think what's going to take is parents that understand the process to help those parents that are not familiar or don't understand how to go about this recruiting landscape. Because you do have to be involved, because if not, you're going to have people that come within your circle that doesn't have your child's best interest at heart, and they're only looking out for themselves. So you still want to play some part in that, but you also, at the end of the day, want to be a parent, and that's to guide them not just through their recruiting process, but also in their life. It's just, some guidance from parents that know what they're doing or has been through this before. And then the parent themselves has to understand, okay, this is where I need to be involved. This is where I need to step back. That's just like when they go on visits. I tell parents, you shouldn't be the only one talking when you guys are meeting with the coach. Your presence is solely for making sure that the questions are being asked, the questions are being answered. So let your son or your daughter take that initiative during the visits, asking those questions. And if there's something that he or she didn't say or ask to the coach, then that's when you step in. But don't overpower the situation, because that's also a bad look on the parent, because the coach is looking at that as well.
Something I also see, in my opinion, the genuineness when it comes to these players, these coaches, these trainers. What is their motive? Not necessarily their motive, but how much are you really invested in this player? Like, are you investing in them because, they're going to be a 5-star athlete, so let me train and say, this is my kid. And are you taking the ones who are really out the mud, who's just as good as that 5-star player, but they don't have that same attention, and you're training them two totally different ways, or you putting them out there two totally different ways? Because I see it a lot. It's crazy. Like, just being able to find those real, genuine people.
It's rare. It's becoming very rare finding those individuals.
Shout out to drill work training, by the way.
They're very rare in today's youth sports. They're like a diamond in the rough. A lot of these trainers are chasing these kids because of their potential of what they can gain from it. You got your plug? I'm going to do my plug. So shout out to Queens of the Court. So my baby sister, she played at Murray State. She has a girls AAU team out in Gwinnett. And she made it known from the very beginning, we are going to practice on personal development. So going back to AAU, a lot of these teams are meeting maybe once, twice.
Playing 30 games.
Playing 30 games and not practicing. Where my sister's program is a little, is different from that. She's with these girls 24/7. They're doing sand work. She's in the gym with them in the morning, in the evening. They're just working on different skill development. I don't think people want to put in the time anymore. They're looking for instant gratification. And it's sad. And these parents are okay with it. That's the sad part, is that a trainer walks up to you and says, hey, I want to train your son. As a parent, I'm thinking to myself, we've been in the same community for the past 5-6 years now. You wasn't trying to work out with my son or my daughter 5-6 years ago. But now that he's been in the limelight, he's rated as a 3, 4, 5-star athlete, now you want to train him. What happened? Those are questions that are not being asked from these parents. They're just willing, okay, that's fine. The trainer might be giving them a good discount or training them for free. But at the end of the day, the trainer's like, well, if I give them a discount or I'm training their daughter or their son for free, I know what's going to come out of this in another year or two. They're going to the league and I'm going to be there with them. Or, I train NBA players. That's a whole nother topic. But it's rare. A lot of coaches and trainers are not willing to put in the work and develop these kids. They want polished players.
Yeah. Not, beginner. Yeah.
They don't. And it's sad because, I don't know how it was when you were coming up and playing.
Same way. Pretty much same way.
It wasn't that bad when I was
It's
playing.
worse now for sure.
Of course.
It's worse.
Of course, because people are sitting back saying, oh, this is what I can get if I start working out with these type of athletes. Yeah. It's happening. It's happening a lot, and it's not good for the youth community at all, the youth sports community.
Yeah, it's very much separated, very much over here, right here. Yeah, it's...
Which is why I appreciate and commend independent AAU programs. Because you have a lot of parents that want to jump ship because a team is being sponsored by a shoe brand. But then when your child goes over there, they're sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
And now you complain, or now you're lost. Like, what's going on? Well, number one, your son or your daughter may not be that talented. And then number two, what did you think? You thought just because your son or your daughter is now playing for a shoe brand team that they're gonna get a scholarship? It doesn't work like that. It does not. Your student athlete has to be a talented athlete to get a scholarship. Just because they're part of a shoe brand company doesn't mean that they're gonna get a scholarship.
And then also too, like, yeah, you on that team, but also it's like your coach is helping you get those scholarships. You just a player there. Like, what are they doing to help you get to where you need to be?
That's another thing. So I am very curious to know, out of all these AAU and high school programs, how many of these coaches are actually putting in work to get their players recruited. I'm not going to say the name of the program, but I was working with one in particular, and I asked the AAU director, I said, hey, so out of all your coaches, how many of them are helping? When I say help, I mean like calling college coaches or reaching out to their network of getting their players scholarships. Oh, I'm not sure. What? So what are we doing? Your coaching staff is not trying to build rapport. They're not trying to reach out to coaches, and this needs to be all year, not just during the season.
Right.
And that blows my mind that you have these AAU teams that have coaching staff members that are not helping these kids. And see, that's another reason why I get so frustrated with some of these high school coaches, men and women. If we are trying to help our young people get to the next level in life, why are you so against some of the today's society ways of getting the players exposure? Why are you so against it? I know why. Because you want to be in control. You want to control everything. And that's not how it works. When NIL first came out, I was on 11 Live News. I can't remember the name of the station, but they reached out to me to get my take on Georgia passing the NIL. When I tell you, I had this coach here in Atlanta that sent me a DM and said, we shouldn't be teaching our kids about building a personal brand. It's becoming a distraction. Okay, so you're telling me, coach, that you want your player just to focus on their sport, and that's it. Not every player that's on your team is going to go to college. So why is it that you're so against of them pursuing other passions? If they like to draw, if they like to cook, if they're into music, what's wrong with them tapping into that and creating content, put that on social media?
That's such a big issue, man. It's how can I put this? When you are an athlete and you're trying to get into other ventures, it's almost damn near impossible. Because You tell your coach this. No, we got to practice. No, this. You need to do this. Well, damn, I'm trying to jump on. Like, once you leave that sports world and get, like, you're damn near lost. That's how I was.
Of course.
You damn near,
and that's why I speak with so much freaking passion about it, because after I graduated from Liberty, I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. You know what my 3 jobs were? I worked at 2 restaurant jobs, and I was a camp counselor. I didn't even like kids. But I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do with my life, because all I knew was basketball in school. But just think about it. While in high school, or maybe even in college, if I started thinking about, if I had people saying, well, Miss Smith or Jaquez, after college, what do you see yourself doing? What type of career, what type of industry do you see yourself excelling in? Those conversations are not being held like they should from our adults, or from our, guidance, people that should be guiding us through life. When I tell you, when my parents told me, you either get you a job or you go overseas. I knew I didn't want to go overseas because I wasn't, First of all, I like to eat, and I'm not good at trying new things when it comes to eating. And then I'm a very family-oriented person, and I knew that my family wasn't going to be able to travel and come see me play. So I said, you know what? Yeah, I'll just go to school. And I damn sure won't get no job. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. But yeah, that's why I get so passionate, because I just feel like a lot of these people that are put in these positions, they help us to a certain point. And then once they're gone, you don't hear from them.
At all, ever. Like, it's crazy.
And it's sad. So that's why I come from such passion when I speak about that transition from college to the real world, because a lot of athletes, they, like I said earlier, either fall into depression or they're lost, like you just said. We don't know what to do next.
Yeah.
Now we got maybe 3 of my years right after college just passed me by. I'm working 3 jobs. And nothing against, being a waiter or a waitress or anything, or a camp counselor. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But shit, I didn't know what else to do.
And my last year, when I played, shout out to my coach, love him to death. He was big on that, just tapping into other stuff outside of basketball, like, cause he played overseas, whatever. He was just saying, like, basketball is not here forever. Like, what is your plan after this?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta have a long game. Like, find out what it is you love to do. What is your why? Like, that was his biggest thing. What is your why? Why are you doing this? Use this opportunity that you have now to get you where you want to be.
And that's what I tell a lot of these athletes, more so on the college level. This platform that you're on, people know who you are. So you got to utilize that to the max and start tapping into other of your passions. Like I said earlier, if you're into fashion, or if you're into sports management, maybe start interning at a sports agency. Build that relationship. Start educating yourself. Because when it's time for you to make that transition, you're not as lost.
Yeah.
You have an idea. I'm not saying you done figured it out.
Yeah.
Because we're still trying to figure it out, at the age that we are at. But you at least have some sort of an idea.
Yeah.
I didn't have an idea. I was like, I'm not going to be working 2 restaurant jobs and a camp counselor for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So, that's why, when it comes to these individuals like your coaches and trainers that are genuinely, who genuinely care about their players, when you find those, you got to keep in touch with them, because it's hard to find good people. It's hard to find good people in general nowadays.
And I can't say not all, but some of these younger players are kind of pushing that away. They're pushing it away heavy, and I'm just like, bro, y'all don't understand. Like, if I would have had it when y'all had it,
You can't tell them nothing. You can't tell these young kids anything. They think they know everything already. But let's be honest, we were at that age.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
And it took somebody else. Like, for example, if your parents told you to do something and you was like, man, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all, I'm going to do it my way. But as soon as somebody else outside of your parents told you the same exact thing, now you have a wow moment. Like, oh my gosh, why did...
Yeah.
Because sometimes you need to hear it from somebody else. But those people are hard to find now.
You definitely are. It's crazy, man. Maybe it'll all come together. Maybe,
Hopefully.
you know.
Hopefully. Well, we can always just continue to pray and hope. But to be honest, that's why when I work with clients or I have consultations, I tell every single parent, I may not know everything, but I know something.
Yeah.
So even after this call, if you have a question or there's a decision that you want to make, but you're not quite sure on, call me or text me. And if I don't know, then I'm going to point you in the right direction. Because a lot of these parents are lost, trying to figure out how to move and navigate through the recruiting process. So when you have people in your circle that genuinely cares, keep them around. Because there are a lot of vultures out here, people that are looking out for themselves and will use you and manipulate you and brainwash you to make you feel like you need them.
Amen. That's true though. It's like you said, dog eat dog world. For sure.
Yes, it is. And who would ever thought youth sports would come to where it's at? Like, it's crazy, man. I don't go to a lot of AAU games or tournaments, but I see a lot on social media. And now that my sister has an AAU team, I hear a lot. I hear a lot from coaches and other parents about all the drama that goes behind it. Not saying that we didn't have drama when I was playing, but it's gotten worse.
Yeah. Like how are you also able to pick who's in your community, like who's genuine? How are you able to navigate through that and just understand like, okay, let me see. Okay, they gonna really help these kids for real. Okay, I can send my kids here and
I
trust
sit back
them.
and watch. I don't give people a lot of chances. Once you show me your true colors, I'll be cordial because I never want to burn my bridges. But if I'm not 100% sure about a person or individual, I'm not going to refer you or recommend you or your company or your service to the person that's seeking out for that. But yeah, I just sit back and I watch. I know it's hard to believe because I've been talking a lot, but I'm not much of a talker. I sit back and I watch and I observe. That's even at my 9 to 5. Like there's a lot of things within our company that I don't agree with. And they may think, oh, because they call me Jay at the office. Oh, Jay doesn't know. She doesn't know what's going on. Oh, I know what's going on. I just haven't said anything. Yeah, so I just sit back and I observe. I feel people out. And yeah, I mean, I don't really have a big circle. It's really just my family. I have associates, I have colleagues, but I'm very particular I'm very strategic and particular about everything that I do. And I protect my mental peace. I protect my peace at all time. If I sense any type of negative energy, you got it. I'll just sit here and just be cordial. But best believe you probably won't see me again. Yeah. And I think when you're building a company or just going through life and you're trying to accomplish dreams and goals, you have to find ways to become less distractive. And sometimes people allow people to distract them. I know I'm going off topic, but
No, you good.
yeah, but that's just how, that's how I keep my circle the way it is with my family members. Just being very mindful who I allow in my space. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much power you have, who you coach, what company you work at. If I don't sense genuine positive energy, I'll find another way. And I'm okay with that. Like I've had people ask me, well, with you being a female in a male dominant industry, do you ever feel yourself where you're having to do things that are against your no, I don't. if it takes me an extra 5-10 years to get there because I didn't sleep with such and such, I'm okay with that. Because at the end of the day, that's my name. Word travels. People talk. Oh, you didn't hear? Girl, I heard she got that position because she... Yeah, so, yeah, but that's how I keep my circle tight. Is just sitting back and observing and picking people apart.
For sure. Stand on your business the way.
Yes.
Always.
Yeah. My fiance tells me I need to loosen up sometimes. I'm like, no. I only.
It's hard to.
It's hard. It's hard, especially when you're a one person brand, right? You have to be careful and strategic and mindful about everything that you do, who you associate yourself with. That's why I tell you, I'm so picky about my clients. Not saying that all my clients are perfect. I'm not saying that, or I'm perfect, but you just gotta, read people and figure people out.
Definitely. JQ PT Files, man.
Yes, this is great. I love the aura in here.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's still coming together.
You're doing a really good job. And I told you this outside too. I'm gonna say it again. I appreciate your professionalism.
Appreciate it.
You don't know how many people I've interacted with that are not professional and they're not doing the small things. Like the fact that you sent me a text with all the details. A lot of people aren't doing that.
I'll be trying.
But that's what separates you from other podcasters or other companies. You're doing the small things. Now, of course, you might get someone that doesn't care. They might be okay with getting the address 2 hours before. I don't operate like that.
Yeah.
So what you're doing, keep it up.
I appreciate that.
Just, like I said, be patient and be consistent. For sure, I think everybody can do what we do, but everybody can't be consistent. That's the hard part.
It's definitely being consistent is definitely hard, and just trying to keep going and
But no, you're doing a really good job, and I appreciate you bringing me on the show.
I love having you on here. This was we needed this one for sure.
Yes. We might have to do another one down the line when I got some more stories to tell you.
For sure. Okay, real quick. If you could choose your 5, WNBA or NBA, whichever one, your starting 5, who would you do?
Ooh, do they all have to be active players, or can they be?
No, they ain't gotta be active.
Dang, you only giving me 5?
Yeah. All right, then 6 man.
Okay. Definitely gotta have AI.
Okay.
I don't know if I want Cappy Pondexter over. Because her and Allen Iverson, I know they're, man and female, but I feel like their game is kind of the same. Okay, I'm gonna go Allen Iverson. I might come back to Cappy. Allen Iverson, Kobe
for sure.
Kevin Garnett.
Which one, Celtics or Timberwolves?
Ooh, that's a good. You said Celtics? Okay, I'm gonna say Celtics.
Okay, cool.
Asia Wilson.
Okay.
That's what, 4? Damn. I gotta get a shooter on there. Ooh. Dang, man.
You got 2 more.
All right, I'm gonna have to. As much as I don't want to say his name, I'm gonna say it. But Stephen Curry.
What's up with Steph Curry?
6 man, right? I'm gonna go ahead and throw my girl Cappy in there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, go throw her in there. That was hard. I haven't done one of those in a long time.
Solid 6. Okay, cool. That's what's up. JQ, y'all. Sports brand manager. Appreciate you for coming out.
Thank you for having me. This was dope. I
Most
felt very
definitely.
comfortable.
Appreciate it. I want you to feel comfortable every time you do an interview.
No, some podcast platforms don't. You have that energy, and the moment you walk in, like, damn, why did I agree to do this? But no, I appreciate you having me on the show. I really
sure.
do, and
Most
I wish you
definitely.
the best of luck
You too.
with everything that you do, not just with your podcast, but everything that you touch and think of. I pray for prosperity.
Appreciate you, man.
You're welcome.
This PT Files, JQ, we out.